Captain Jack Sparrow is no longer that crazy white guy, Johnny Depp. No, now Captain Jack Sparrow is going to be a black, female, queer socialist. Big news from the House of Mouse. Disney is going to revitalize the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and they're really, really going to make a big splash with new casting in the character of Captain Jack Sparrow. Captain Jack Sparrow is no longer that crazy white guy, Johnny Depp. No, now Captain Jack Sparrow is going to be a black, female, queer socialist. I don't think any of us saw that one coming. Ayo Edebiri, she's a Emmy award-winning actress. She's on the show The Bear. If you watch on Hulu, it's actually a pretty good show. And she's actually a fine actress and a pretty funny comedian as well. She's the one who's being rumored now as the replacement for Jack Sparrow. Now, I'm guessing the character won't actually be Jack Sparrow. It's going to be some facsimile thereof. But boy, count on Disney for just doing exactly what Disney's going to do. I mean, honestly, it's like a punchline of a joke. This one is. And how ticked off should for Johnny Depp be in all of this? Yeah, I almost called him Jack Sparrow because he has created this character out of nothing. If you've read into the creation of the first Pirates of the Caribbean film and the writing of the script and the creation of the character, what you see on screen as the iconic, amazing, memorable, historic, one for the books, Captain Jack Sparrow, it's all Johnny Depp. He created all of it. He created the look. He created the speech pattern. He created the voice and the accent. He created all of it. It's all him. And now Disney's going to figure out a way to have this black, queer, socialist actress replicate it and do her own thing, but in a very woke and understandable way. Because let's face it, back then, I want to be clear, there were female pirates, and Disney has suggested that she's going to be playing a character that's loosely based on a real life pirate from Ireland. I know she doesn't look Irish, but I'm sure they're going to figure that out. She's originally from Massachusetts. A lot of Irish people in Massachusetts. She was born of a Nigerian father and a Barbadian mother. And again, I want to say she's very talented and she's very funny and she's a good actress and she's popular and she could very well sell a lot of tickets. But I got an idea, Disney. Forgive me if this is going to rub anybody the wrong way, but how about you write something new? It's like we want to elevate Ayo Edebiri, the black, queer socialist. We want to advance her career, and we want to build a whole franchise around her. So let's do Pirates of the Caribbean 7. No. How about you actually get creative and write something new, something specific for her, and create a whole cinematic universe around her? Like you did with Johnny Depp. But instead, everything's derivative. Everything, all right, let's just take Johnny Depp out and we'll put this woman in and everything will be fine and we'll satisfy the woke crowd. It's ridiculous. It's insane. It's Disney. And by the way, it's nothing new. I mean, let's face it, all you're seeing out of the House of Mouse right now is just sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel, whether it's Toy Story 72 or whether it's Star Wars 12 and a half. Or don't even get me started on the Marvel universe. They're just figuring out a way to regurgitate and spit out the same old thing year after year after year. And unless it stars Chris Pratt, it ain't doing well at the box office. And one great example of that was the show Mandalorian on Disney Plus. The first season was actually quite creative. It was quite new. They actually were able to create a whole new storyline within the Star Wars cinematic universe, and people loved it. People flocked to it. One of the reasons they loved it was because of the character Gina Carano created on Mandalorian, right? She was great. She was very popular, and through the second season, the ratings were through the roof. She was second only to Baby Yoda in popularity. But then Disney fired her. Why? Because she was a bad actress? No. Because she didn't show up on time? No. because she was rude and offensive to her coworkers on set. Nope, nope, nope. It wasn't any of those reasons. They fired her because she tweeted things that Disney didn't like. They fired her because she tweeted things complaining about the lockdown and questioning the science behind the social distancing and masking protocols during the pandemic. You know, the things that Anthony Fauci now admits were not really real or effective. Anthony Fauci has literally said that the 6-foot social distancing rule just sort of came out of nowhere and he has no idea where it came from. Gina Carano challenged social distancing and masking and she got fired by Disney for doing that. She got fired by Disney because she tweeted things that suggested that maybe Black Lives Matter is not the nicest and friendliest political movement. In fact, they're Marxists, and it's quite possible that the people at the top are corrupt, which, of course, we've learned now they certainly appear to be, since all of the money BLM collected seems to have gone away, except for the founders buying a whole lot of million-dollar homes around the country. Gina Carano got fired by Disney for tweeting those things. And now Gina Carano is fighting back. She took to, what used to be Twitter, now it's X.com, and she announced that she was filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. A little bit of her tweet on this. After my 20 years of building a career from scratch, and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter terminating me from The Mandalorian, quoting, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Now, let's be clear here about why this lawsuit is so important, because it's not just wrongful termination, firing me because of my political views, yada, 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 things like that. I mean, theoretically, people can be fired in certain states in this country for their political views. I say certain states because some states have actually enacted some laws that say, no, you can't fire somebody for their political views. Interestingly, California is one of those states. But on a federal level, there is no federal protection for you for being fired for your political views, right? You can't be fired for your religion or for your sex or for your sexual orientation, I believe is now protected. But a physical or handicap or disability, can't be fired for that either. But right now, theoretically, you could be fired in terms of federal law. Some states do have some provisions that protect you for your political views too. But understand something clearly. This is not about Disney clearly attacking her and punishing her because she's not as woke as the Disney CEO and the producing team at Disney wanted her to be. No. The lawsuit has to do with how they defamed her when they fired her. It was that statement. Disney could have kept their mouth shut. Disney could have just put out a one-line statement saying Gina Carano is no longer employed with Lucasfilm or Disney. Period. And said, any more questions you can ask Ms. Carano. They could have done that. And they may have avoided this lawsuit. But they couldn't help themselves. They had to flex. They had to virtue signal. They had to trash Gina Carano because guess what? Gina Carano isn't liberal. She isn't woke. She's not on our team. So it's okay to trash her. It's okay to attack her. Everyone's going to celebrate us for that, right? Well, now Gina Carano is suing because of it, and good for her. By the way, she's being supported in this lawsuit by none other than the X corporation owned by Elon Musk. Yeah, Elon Musk, when he bought Twitter and changed the name to X and then tried to change some of the policies with regard to canceling and censoring and deplatforming people who had wrongthink on the website, he actually said to people, if you were fired, if you were terminated, if you were discriminated against because of something you said on Twitter, let me know and we'll take up your cause. Well, Gina Carano did that. She did. She sort of clicked on his tweet and saw that there was a little link for a form to fill out. And she filled it out and she waited a few months. And next thing you know, X called her and said, you know what, Gina, we want to take up your lawsuit. So now she's got quite a bit of funding and backing for this lawsuit, doesn't she? And you'll remember a few weeks back when Disney decided to pull all their advertising from X.com because they believed that Elon Musk was anti-Semitic or whatever it is Media Matters slimed him with. And you remember Elon's response, right? Ah, I believe there was an F word involved. Yeah, this is personal for Elon Musk against Disney, and it's going to get ugly for Disney. In fact, Elon Musk also tweeted out about the Gina Carano lawsuit. If anyone else out there has been discriminated against by Disney or ESPN or Marvel or Lucasfilm, let me know and we'll take up your cause as well. He also tweeted out this document that an insider at Disney shared with him. This is the inclusion standards that Disney has put forth for their general entertainment content. You can go ahead and find it online. It's got a lot of small print, but let me just tell you in general, the guidelines are about inclusion on screen and in the content of the storylines that the entertainment division is portraying. And also people the creative forces that are working on the shows or on the projects that Disney is responsible for. And under the guise of inclusion standards, it lays out quotas and it lays out people who are included and excluded. You see, if you bend over backwards to make sure that people of a certain color or a certain gender identity or sexual orientation, if you're making sure that they're being included and deciding that you're going to hire them based on those criteria, that means by definition you are excluding people who don't fit into that criteria. And that, my friends, is called discrimination. And that certainly seems to be what Disney is guilty of here. We're going to watch this play out. We're popping the popcorn. We're watching the whole thing. I pray to God Gina Carano does not settle out of court. I want her to take this all the way to a verdict, and I want to see Disney squirm because they've gone woke. Frankly, they deserve to go broke.